How was your last week after the last?
Yeah, I mean, the Brahmari was something like a setting point for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I kind of like texted, I've come to terms with my ringing ears, you know,
Mm-hmm.
including it in whatever is happening. Like, otherwise, I was kind of keeping it like, why is this ringing ear all the time? And especially after I started Vipassana, it didn't bother me so much. I don't know why. I would not even notice it. But
Yeah.
all of a sudden, when I started thinking that I have to hear sound, this ringing ear is the sound I was hearing a lot. So it started to bother me, and now the past week was a good week. It was a good setting point for me. Okay, it doesn't matter, and so now I'm including it in my music. So that is the best part.
So in Vipassana, I don't know if you remember, Goenkaji talks about four entrances from where you can.
Oh, I don't remember that. Yeah,
Okay,
tell me.
maybe that is in Sadipatana course. I don't remember exactly where I
Uh-huh.
heard that. So, sensation is one of the paths,
Yeah.
one of the entrances.
Uh-huh.
So in Vipassana, we work with the sensations of the body. So
Yes. Uh-huh.
Nada is another entrance. You
Oh,
can
I
choose which entrance you
yeah.
want to get into,
Wow.
right? But the destination is the same. The center
Yeah.
where you reach, that is all the same.
Uh-huh.
How about you, Rekhaji?
How about the other two? You said two and there were four.
Two more I need to recollect. I don't exactly remember them, but I remembered these two I could remember. I can look it up and we can discuss that also.
Curious,
Yeah,
that's all.
because in Vipassana, we just
As well.
only focused on one aspect, which is the sensation.
Yeah,
So,
that uh-huh.
yeah, he says sensation is the language of the unconscious mind, sensation of the body. So when we are talking in some language. Now we are talking in English, but your subconscious mind is registering everything in the language of sensations.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, when you have to reproduce from your memory, you have to decode it from the language of sensations.
Mm-hmm.
So any thought, any feeling, any emotion has a corresponding sensation happening in the body at some part. Each part of the body is connected with some part of the mind, right? The entire body is the mind that we discussed in our one of the
Mm-hmm.
previous sessions. So how closely they are related. When we are angry, some part of the body becomes automatically stiff. When you are mentally relaxed, the body also becomes relaxed. uh, so in yoga asanas, when you are doing different postures, they have in turn psychological influences also. There are different layers of the being that we are, uh, from the physical to the etheric to the astral to the mental to the spiritual, right? Annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, vijnanamaya kosha, anandamaya kosha. In yogic language, that's how you name them. They have different functions. So based on the functions, they are named. Pranamaya kosha means not something separate from us. They're also part of us. Like we say, hands, legs, face, eyes, different organs. We are naming them. They have different functions, but it's all part of the you. Same way, all these different layers of the being, the different subtler bodies, are all part of us. It's just that you know uh, they are beyond our normal perception, which is probably not absolutely essential for the day-to-day living on this planet Earth. We have limited ourselves to experience certain things in this life, but the subtler aspects we can have glimpses, or you can even fully understand. Then the whole purpose is served. Then there is no point in continuing. So at this point, the limited, but we still have that curiosity to know. That is the search all about,
Yeah.
right? But the moment we start searching, we are moving away from that, because that is somewhere something that is right there and now, right? So uh, it's all about turning inwards. And yeah, I listened to a couple of the sharings you already did in that group, WhatsApp group, the talks. So I was actually, some of them I was surprised, some of them I probably have already told, and
Right.
that's how I took this practice also. But I never learned it or heard it from someone. It just
Mhm.
came up within me that way, about the connection of the chakras and the swaras,
Mhm.
and the different colors, the colors of the rainbow, Vibgyor, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. That's from top to bottom, from Sahasrara, all the seven chakras. The colors are correlating with the rainbow colors, right?
There are all these separate pieces of knowledge, I would say, which has come about and then starts to come together. I mean, I'm a very beginner student of music or yoga for that matter. But these thoughts have come in the past, like how, and my mind works in correlation somehow. Everything, I feel like it feels good if you start correlating. Oh, this also makes sense in my path or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So music came. That was probably one of my big pulls into Drupad, for example, because I was, searching through yoga and pranayam and whatever little I knew. And the first time I heard my guru perform, they sang a kriti called it's a Kabir bhajan basically, Jini Jini Bini Chadariya.
Okay.
And the first antra itself will say Aat Kamal Dal Charkha Dole. They're talking about the Shwas and the Ida Pingla. They're talking about the chakras. The wow, I mean, that's what just drew me totally in.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, this whole thing about how do the notes relate to chakras and things like that have occurred. But musicians do music. They don't want to deal with this all, foo-foo stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's good to get this confirmation. And the other thing, I think the Sanskrit letters and all of that this lady was talking about, that was also touched upon briefly in these Drupad sessions. And I couldn't quite not understand. It will be touched, but not expounded.
Mm-hmm.
Brain keeps tracking, like, what does that mean? How does it relate to my body? Like some rishis, drashtas saw this. How do you really make sense? So this lady was talking about everything in the spectrum. And then I don't know if you saw the ones I sent yesterday. Then there was this gentleman who from UK who was
Yeah,
also
I saw that. Yeah.
yeah. So I think all of these things are, good searches, I believe, good to at least go through once and make something settle down. Yeah.
Nice.
I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched those videos yet.
Mm-hmm.
I will do it today.
I'm also mastering 1.5 speed. I was told you can listen to these things faster.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much to do in life, so I go 1.25, then I go 1.5. If they're very slow, then you can do 1.5. It's faster too.
Wow. Actually, I make them slower.
That's about
Most
you
of
and
the
me,
videos,
right?
yeah, I go slower. Oh, interesting.
Yesterday I was trying, I mean, I have heard in other music practices that they call it Barakhadi, where they will do like they will practice each swara on that. And then they start with ka, kha, ga, gha.
Mm-hmm.
And then they will put all the vowels on ka, like ka, ka, ki, ku, ku, ke, like that. So since now it's a newfound confirmation, I would say, not that I had never heard it. I just found it very fascinating. So even when I'm we were driving or something, my mind's going like just to see where the vibrations are coming. So it's been interesting, I would say. And in terms of practicing Brahmari, most of the days I was doing it already, but now the focus has become a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
So I am feeling a lot of sensations in my, like above my neck. And like if I wake up early morning or if it's quiet, then it's just a constant buzzing that keeps happening. Just trying to fix the focus on the right to see, just because it's a conscious effort. Otherwise, it's happening somewhere, and you keep it.
I think, yeah, that's what these sessions did. Focusing on, not just for me, it's not just the right side. I'm kind of focusing on right and left, and most of the time right. But then I feel like sound comes from the left too, and a lot of getting in touch with whatever sound you hear.
Yeah, that was a good observation, how it is connected with the breath, what is happening with the breath when you.
I don't know if it is real or whatever, but that's how, like, when the focus is when the focus is on the right ear, and then all of a sudden, automatically the breath was changing. It just takes a few seconds or few minutes maybe, and then I can feel that the breath changes as I focus on that ear. So I still have to kind of, what do you call, experiment with it maybe, and see what this is. But at least I'm able to integrate it now. It doesn't feel like it is away from me. It's like, as if I want to put that away. And it's okay now. It just doesn't matter. Yeah.
The connection with the chakras and the bija mantras, right? In yoga, each chakra is associated with some bija mantra, like yam for the anahata, right? Sreem, Sreem, Hreem, Aim, Gau, Cream, all those different bija mantras are connected with the chakra. So even Om, for that matter, they are not to be uttered, but they are to be heard. When you focus on a chakra, the mantra reveals. You can listen to that. So, like the colors of the chakras. If you see with your eyes in the sense not necessarily the physical eyes. There are different levels of seeing, different levels of hearing. It looks like a particular color, but if you look at the chakra through the ears, you will hear a particular sound. So it's from where you look at it, from which door you are looking at it. It will appear like sound, it can appear like color. So you might have heard the popular story where 5 blind people were trying to know an elephant. So one person said it's like a broom, one person said it's like a pillar. But the elephant as a whole, nobody has seen. So they are seeing from what they perceive. Right? So we are seeing everything from fragments. We are not seeing in its totality. And people, argue, okay, this is the truth. But the actual truth, which is you cannot talk about it. You cannot tell what it is. You can only experience. You can only know. The famous Vedantic example of sugar, the sweetness of the sugar. You can taste it, but you cannot tell how it tastes. How you can tell it is like something else. Maybe sugar is like honey. You can tell, but that is not. You cannot really convey that experience of sweetness to another person, right? Like that last time we were discussing about Japa Yoga, right?
Right.
The master suggests, okay, this is the only way. So to a bigger group, that's how you can address. You cannot directly take to the subtler dimensions. Same way, all this like music, chanting, all those things can help to create the atmosphere and all those things. But if it is needed, definitely slowly we will
Right.
come to that.
Right. Absolutely.
Now more about understanding what it is and sharing each other's. I am also learning from you all. So it's a group. It's a satsang again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Radhika sent a message saying that she's unable to hear the audio.
Okay.
And I said, we are all able to hear you.
Okay.
Yes, it's better now, ma. I'm able to
it's
hear.
better now?
When I join back again, it's fine.
Oh,
Thank you.
Oh, good.
I'm sorry about it.
Okay.
No problem. I'm glad you are able to hear.
Yeah, it says you are muted, but I still can hear you.
True, we could hear. That's what I was thinking. The same thing. It says muted, but we were able to hear you.
Yeah, video has gone. Video not there. So we will chant Om together 7 times. Okay, I forgot to tell you. Like you wanted the Brahmari recording of mine, right? So from that day's recording, I have it already, but only my side is heard in that one. I will share that after today's discussion. I will share that.
Yeah, I actually, that'll be good to get your recording. That's okay. But I think I slowly graduated from the place that I wrote that message to you that last week, because I think I had trouble, and I was thinking, what is this? It doesn't sound the way your memory was different sounding. Slowly I'm graduating from that place, but I like to still have your recording.
Yeah. It is part of the discussions and it is there.
I went back to it, but I'm hearing what I'm chanting. I wanted yours alone, so that's why that request was.
We'll start with the Om chanting 7 times. So when you chant Om, we will do it starting with the A syllable and slowly closing your mouth, and U will come and then close your lips. The Ma sound with your mouth closed. Okay, so I will show you one time. You can watch. That's how you do that. Have you done this like that before?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can close your eyes, focus on the sound, and chant the Om with starting from A syllable. So all the 3 syllables approximately of equal length. You can also simultaneously try to observe which part of the body is reverberating. You don't have to imagine anything, just observe whatever is naturally there. Take a deep breath in. Take your time to take a long, slow, deep breath in again. You can gently open your eyes now. This is the mudra that you use for Brahmari. With your thumbs, you close these earlobes.
Okay.
But just press from outside with the thumbs.
Okay.
These 4 fingers on the face like this.
Okay.
Okay. Then you slightly press harder. The ears. These 4 fingers are very gently placed, and then just by closing like that, you do the humming sound like like that. Then take a deep breath. Again, start to hum like that. So you can do the Brahmari. Just do maybe like 7 times count and do the Brahmari, and then sit in silence. Just meditate for maybe 7 minutes. We'll keep it as 7 number. So were you able to do the Brahmari properly?
Yeah, Brahmari happens because it's just it's a habit that I've been doing. So what I'm finding is, I think last couple of days, suddenly it's like, how the big temple bells ring, not one but multiple. And then when you start focusing, and then it just alternates between more like a cricket sound, the same,
Okay.
And it just keeps going from one to the other.
Back and forth. Okay.
Yes. I also wanted to add, like I was, after Brahmari, in that silent meditation, again, I was the same experience of the sound and the breath. It was exactly like that, like the way I had been experiencing. But I also noticed today there was some kind of attention that was on my scalp, on the top of my head. And it just felt like as I breathe in, take a deep breath, the scalp was coming together. And then when I was breathing out, the scalp was like as if there was a movement in my scalp with the breathing. So all these things, I think I have to kind of understand whether there is some imagination. I don't know what it is, but I've never sensed it that even in Vipassana, because we pay a lot of attention to breathing in Vipassana. But I know that in Vipassana we have a lot of sensation that starts in the head, and it goes, all that.
So Vipassana is a totally different technique. We should not compare 2 different techniques. That's why in Vipassana, Goenkaji always says, don't mix other techniques with Vipassana.
Exactly. Right.
Okay, so you don't even try to connect both, or you don't have to watch the sensations or anything.
Yeah.
You don't have to focus on that. You might feel the sensations, that is natural. Let it be, but our focus is mainly on the sound in this technique of practice.
I was going to ask you that because my mind automatically goes to sensations.
Yeah, that happens. So the different sounds that we hear, the bell sound, the cricket sound, these are all preliminary sounds that pop up when you start to observe. So you are talking about after Brahmari, when you sit in meditation, right?
Yes. Yeah, it is not during Brahmari, you hear just your sound.
Right.
And, now I can slowly localize, where that sound is coming from and how that sound ends, and the breath, how it is connected with breath during Brahmari. But it is the silence after the Brahmari that I start to notice these connections between breath and the sound ringing sound I have. And also now today, for the first time, I felt like it's like as I'm breathing, the whole body is breathing. And then the scalp, there is a movement in the scalp like that.
That is all always there. These movements are all happening inside. We never observe them, notice them.
Observed it, right.
Yeah. So when the attention naturally goes there, that's okay, fine. Again, you can try to
Yeah.
bring it back, to the sound.
Right. To the sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After Brahmari, you can, for the next week practice, after the Brahmari pranayama, like 7 times you usually do, right? Or even more, whatever the count. Or you don't even need to count for some time, for a few minutes. And then continue to hold the mudra, the Shanmukhi mudra. Okay. Initially, the hands might hurt because you're holding this posture position. Like I told you, you can take some support, for the elbows, just to rest them so that you can sit longer. I used to, like, when I practiced, what I did is I sat like this and I used my own knees to support the elbows like this. So, whatever works for you, it doesn't matter. The purpose is to plug the ears.
So did even after the Brahmari sound, you're saying to continue the mudra?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
even while silence, during
Yes.
silence.
Yes.
I see. Okay.
And continue to listen to the inner sound. Whatever sounds naturally you hear, you focus your attention on that. Naturally, mind is absorbed to sound. See, we are talking right now. Suddenly, you will hear some music. The attention goes there, right? Sound has nada has that power of like a magnet, attracting the mind. So, and it makes it stay on that. Naturally, you will be focused. Some other objects of meditation, maybe the breath or chanting or something, you can easily get distracted. The thoughts can carry you away. But nada is not like that. Nada absorbs the mind so powerfully. So that's why this technique is told as, an easy method to focus the mind compared to other techniques.
So two questions I have. One, so different like yoga teachers or different systems of yoga will say this mudra for Brahmari little bit differently. So some will say to hold your first fingers on the Agnya and then this way, and then some will say down. So is there any significance of one versus the other?
Yeah, it's better not to touch the ajna at this point. It's better to keep it on the above the eyelids.
Okay. And there's no pressure on any
No,
of
no
them
pressure,
on
just
the eye.
gently placed. Even if you don't place the four fingers, you just plug the ears like this for the other fingers folded, also it will work. The purpose is to close the ears and close the eyes also. Nose we cannot close, we have to keep them partially open.
Right. And the other thing, somebody else was saying to use these earplugs.
I don't think that's a good idea to use all those props. Not needed, we can do this the traditional way.
And also take it anywhere. Like I feel like if your body can do something, do it anywhere. No bahana like, oh, I don't have this
yeah,
today.
yeah. So continue to hold the mudra and continue to listen to the inner sound through the right ear. Focus is to listen through the right ear. So initially the cricket sound might come. After some time you might start hearing the bell sound. When you start hearing a new sound, switch your attention to the new sound. Sometimes the mind will go back and forth. It will again start hearing the cricket sound. That's okay. But the new sound might be subtler. It will be smaller, feebler. But you switch your attention to the new sound. The new sound will emerge more powerful eventually. It will become louder and the older sound will slowly diminish. So when the mind becomes sharper and sharper, you start hearing the subtler and subtler sounds. That is what is happening here. When you start to meditate, when you focus on an object of meditation, here it is the sound. The mind is becoming sharper. Like in Anapanasati, before Vipassana, you practice Anapanasati, observing the natural breath. Why are you practicing that? That is to sharpen the mind. The mind needs to be sharp enough to penetrate deeper into the subtler realities. So that helps. This meditation already, by doing the Brahmari, then listening to the inner sound, it makes this mind subtler, sharper, and the new sound will emerge, subtler sound will emerge. You focus your attention to the new sound, just stay there, focused. It won't be hard. It will naturally, it's a totally new sound you're listening from within, which you have never heard before. So as you keep on focusing, as you continue to meditate on the new sound, a new sound will start to emerge. Another new sound. Now it was the bell sound. Something subtler, something new is coming up. You just look at it, start listening, start observing that one. It will become louder and louder. So gradually switch your attention to this newer sound, and the other one will slowly diminish. Sometimes it will go back and forth, that's fine. Whenever possible, you try to look for the new sound. Don't imagine anything, don't imagine what sound you will hear or anything, from our readings or talkings. Just whatever you naturally hear at that point of time, that is what you have to give importance to. And the other one, the bell sound will say it diminishes. The new sound you started hearing, as you keep on continuing to meditate on this new sound, again, another new sound will emerge. That means the mind is getting even more sharp. You are able to hear even subtler sounds from within. This is all anahata nada. So this is how you progress in the technique, practice of the technique.
The goal is only to focus on the sound, nothing else.
Yeah, the
No
technique
sensation.
is only to focus on the sound.
Okay, I have to practice that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even this meditation we did after Brahmari, I didn't even think about the sound except the ringing. That was automatically, mind went there. But then I was more looking into some sensation that was happening. So I think I need to regroup myself to do this type of, go in this type of meditation, yeah.
Yeah, once the mind is sharp enough, then later on, even without using the mudra, just by sitting with your eyes closed, you will be able to hear these subtler sounds. But generally, what happens, some outside noise and all, it can distract us. So this helps at the initial stages.
And also, I think the two fingers on the eyes, when we have that, it makes it completely dark. Otherwise, there is ambient light that makes it. Yeah. So the sound actually feels much more. The Brahmari sound feels sharper when the eyes are, when the finger is on top of the eye for some reason, rather than when there is light going through the.
Yeah, that is right. So next week we can start reading the text Nadabindu Upanishad. I will have my hard copy also.
I haven't ordered. I got one. The second book that you had mentioned, I got that one on e-reading, which I started reading last night.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I did some workshop long back about astral traveling. Astral travel is traveling out of the physical body consciously. So when I attended the workshop and I was trying the technique, I was practicing, and at that time, a book popped up from nowhere. I found this book somewhere on the street. Somebody was selling in India, in Madras. It was a very small book about astral travel, some foreign author. So it was just to the point, just the right technique, how you have to practice, and just the needed information was there, and that really helped me actually. So same way, we never know, the Upanishad can take us.
So when you learned with your Guruji, so the Upanishad was not brought up?
It was there. That's the time when I got introduced to this one. Then later on, I lost the text. I didn't have the book. While I lived in Rishikesh.
When they were teaching the Nadayoga, they did not bring up the Nadabindu Upanishad?
No. He just mentioned about the book, and I found this in Rishikesh Divine Life Society. It was Swami Shivananda's diction.
Oh, okay. He's written some really good books.
Right. It might be still there in the archives, but it's hard to, look up. It's very big archives. I searched, but I couldn't find it there. But Amazon, it is there. You just Googled and.
I was reading the reviews on that first book that you talked about, and somewhere it said that the person could not translate the whole thing, and so some of it is translated and some of it is just in Sanskrit.
Yeah, our translator.
Yeah.
Our translator is our experience. Nobody else. So we don't have to worry about that. We have the original scripture that is well and good.
Yeah, I think it's in that book, Dhyana Bindu. Part of it, apparently, when she was translating, she passed away. So part of it is translated and the rest is not translated. That's what the preface of the book says.
Okay.
Yeah. But Nada Bindu, part of it is translated. The Dhyana Bindu, when she was doing it, it's one of the Swamis they refer to from Australia. She has traveled a lot. I forget her name now, complete name. But she's also from Shivananda lineage, yeah. The book that you sent. I was just glancing through the book, and I think it needs a lot of guidance to understand the book, the way even she has written it.
Okay.
But the progression is nice. Progression is good. And also the other book on practice. That kind of is much more, I think, little easier to understand. But the Swamini's book, it's need guidance to understand.
So the technique as such, pretty much, we have covered in these few sessions. Now it is more about the practice and, experiencing it. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Om Shanti Shanti.